We recently interviewed some of our members to ask what they thought of Direct Media Exchange. This is what they said.
Well, the Analyze tab is always the first one we're greeted with. It's so pretty, it's so colorful, it's great.
It just breaks it all down by individual advertising agencies, and it's very cool.
Yeah, I like the amount of statistics given. Most companies give you a very basic setup. I love graphs. I love them as an indicator of my traffic and my impressions.
From an aesthetic standpoint, initially, it's way prettier and easier to use and makes more sense than any other ad network we use. We really love the depth of reporting in there. Some ad networks that we use, in fact some of the big ones we use, I have to download a spreadsheet file and manipulate it in Excel just to calculate what our effective CPMs are. That's insane.
I can do yesterday, last week, last month, last year.
So the ability to see everything in a very clear, easy to use dashboard is fantastic. The link tab is one of those places where you visit it once, you select everybody, and you move on.
I use it to do some research. Yes, I want to know who I'm dealing with, and the rating thing for their advertising really helps me in my decision making too of who I'm going to use.
If I'm not happy, I turn them off. It works great for that. If I am happy, I keep them on, and they tell me my status on every one of them, and I really like that.
I can see maybe some of the sites might, want to only have a few networks. Us, we want everybody. We want everybody bidding on every impression. That's the best way to optimize the system. So you go into the link tab, you apply to everybody, you tell them how you want to get your money, whether it's wire transfer, PayPal, or check, and I never visit the link tag again. The Manage tab is pretty much where I live.
It's really the most unique thing. It's one of at least the top 3 most unique things about RMX.
That's where I'll go in and set frequency capping. That's where I'll go in and set the minimum bid prices.
And it can fight for the impressions, and I love that. That's the way it should be.
I love the fact that not only is it a management interface, but it's kind of a mini reporting interface as well. So I don't have to go to the Analyze tab and run all my reports and hop back and forth between the Manage and the Analyze tab, because you're making the management decisions sometimes based on the data from your analytics. The Media Guard tab is one of those tabs where you need to visit initially when you're first setting up your RMX account, and then you take your best guess at what you think your tolerances are for different levels of creatives.
It's really implemented so well that I don't really have to tweak it much because, you guys knew what you were doing when you did it.
Other systems that I've used, they're very complicated. It takes like a whole day. In Media Guard, you just click. Very simple. And it works.
If I see a creative that comes up and I go, I don't want that creative, then I'll either go in and try to see if I can find how to turn that off, or a quick email to support will get the answer back. This will turn that off exactly. A wide variety of very precise changes you can make and say, I am willing to live with this, I'm not willing to live with this. So we have a high level of confidence that if we say, don't show this specific type of ad, they won't do that. I love the Community tab. It's an element that is completely unique to RMX. None of the other ad networks we work with have anything like it, and it leads me to believe they kind of don't want their publishers talking to each other. And so it kind of goes along with this idea, if it's an open exchange, then it should be open discussion among the people who are using it.
In the beginning when I started using RMX, I would go there for help, but the question I had was answered in the forums. So, I didn't have to bug anybody about it, and it was just done.
I use it several times a week, mainly because RMX provides such great support there. They'll answer your questions very promptly.
Really like the level of customer support as well. Anytime we have an issue, even if it's a small, minor, nitpicky thing, the support crew is just all over it. We got an email back saying we're working on it, we get status updates, and it's fixed really before we ever expect it to be.
Direct Media Exchange. Visit direct.rightmedia.com.